Hi, thanks for checking out this video. I'm going to be making 5 versions of this crispy stuffed pasta shell. The ingredients for the shell filling for my 5 versions today. I'm going to be using some large shells, taco and ranch seasoning, garlic and onion powder, green onion. For cheeses, I'm sticking with fontina, shredded mozzarella, and a cheddar blend. I'm also going to use some pre-made tomato sauce, diced tomatoes, dill pickles, celery, also some slices of pepperoni, chipotle, bacon pieces, mayo, ketchup, salsa, and of course salt and black pepper as needed, or anything else I can find to throw in here too. For cooking the shells, just follow the instructions on the box or the bag that you're using. Minus about a minute or so. You want them a little bit more durable. I rinsed them off a little bit after cooking. First one I'm going to start with is the taco style. I'm using a 1/3 pound 80/20 all beef patty. After draining any liquid, I split the beef into 2 batches. This one I season with a taco seasoning and about 1 teaspoon of chipotle and 1 teaspoon of salsa. I mix and set aside. And the other half of the beef we'll get into a little bit later on in the video. So let's get started by cutting up a little bit of this green onion. Slice that up really small. So I'm going to add some of these green onions to the taco here. So I've got the shells already cooled. Take the shell, put a little bit, because you don't need a whole lot. I'm going to put a little bit of the salsa, and this is a medium salsa. And grab some of this meat here. Again, it's only going to take a little bit of it, like that. All right, we'll put a little more. Make it a little extra full here. So that's pretty much all you need here. And then the cheese, I'm using a shredded cheddar mix. So we're going to get that on there. And you can use it as little, as much as you want is fine. Take another one and just roll it up like that. All right, so I'm going to make a few more of these. The next one is the bacon chicken ranch version of it. I'm going to chop up a little bit of this celery. Just going to chop these up really small. All right, so I've got the other onions in here. So I'm just going to get the celery in there too. Okay, and for the chicken, this is just some leftover rotisserie chicken that I bought at the store the other day. It's nice and cold. There's a good use for it, a second use. And I'm going to make these chunks a little bit bigger because I kind of want them to stand out. So just kind of larger cubes. So I'm going to get this into the bowl too. Next is the bacon. So these are just bacon bits. If you want to cook your own bacon, that's fine. You're going to add a little bit of cheese. Now the rotisserie is going to bring its own flavor anyway. For extra seasoning, I'm using this ranch seasoning. This ranch seasoning dressing or powder. You can find almost anywhere now. Okay, just a little bit. We don't want to go too far with it because it can get kind of salty. And I'm just going to mix that with my hands just to make sure everything is coated. And the bacon will also bring in flavor too. So let's grab a shell. And I'm just going to use my hands on this one. I'm just going to stuff that in, get a little bit of everything in there. Take a shell, again, just you want to roll it in until it closes, like that. All right, we'll get that in the air fryer too. Gonna make a few of these. And the shells may stick together like this. You want to be gentle with them so you don't tear them. All right, so I like the open ones, they're easier to fill. So get that in there. Get that packed in. The more packed you make it, the better. It'll stay together a little bit better. Okay, take the shell and roll it over. All right. And now I'll move on to the next one, which is the chicken Parmesan version. I'm just going to be using these white chicken nuggets that you buy pre-made. Again, keeping the simplicity of the recipe in mind. Same idea, I'm just gonna slice them up into strips and cubes, just so that you'll have the chunks in the shells that kind of stand out. Okay, we'll get those aside. Very simple. I've got some marinara sauce, which has already been made. Basically a little oregano, little olive oil, some basil, salt and pepper. Pretty much anything you make already pre-made in a pizza sauce or a homemade marinara sauce. Take a shell, put a couple of these cubes in there, maybe 3. That's pretty much what you're going to need. Add a little bit of sauce on top. You don't want to add too much because it will steam it on the inside, probably keep it from getting crispy. So we're going to get those on top there. And now you can use sliced mozzarella here too, if you like. Maybe a little Parmigiano. So we get mozzarella on there. And I like to pack it up on this one here because it's pretty simple, pretty quick to come together. And I want enough cheese in there where it kind of melts and stretches. Take a shell and roll it up. All right, so I'll finish making these. I'm only gonna make a few more. And I'll make some open face ones so we can see the differences when I cook them. The next one is gonna be a pepperoni pizza. I'm using just some pre-sliced pepperoni. And I sliced them in half just so it'd be easier to handle. Make sure we get as much as we can in here so it melts nicely. Take another shell and just roll it up. Get all that cheese in there. I'll make a few more of these and then I'll move on to the final one. For the 5th and final one, I'm making a cheeseburger version of a stuffed shell. And for the cheese, I'm using Fontina. Fontina it's kind of a nice flavor and it melts really nice. It's a soft cheese. It's got this red wax on it. So I'm just gonna slice some thin slices here and just peel off the wax. I count maybe one more slice. And this is great melting cheese. You definitely want to try this if you haven't yet. Let's get into building the cheeseburger ingredients. Put the ground beef in there, some tomatoes, because that's in a burger. I have some dill pickles, chopped really nicely, really fine. Okay, I'm going to take the remainder of that onion, get that in there. The seasoning, I got my house blend seasoning. It's just a little bit of salt, black pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. So just give that a little shake on it, not too much because the cheese is going to bring a little bit of salt too. Let's give this a stir, get everything mixed up. So now that's all ready to go. Grab our shells. I like mayonnaise and ketchup in my burger. You use just mayonnaise, just mustard, or whatever you like in it. So just put a little squirt in that one, a little bit of ketchup. Now you can mix it all together if you want. That'll work good too. Gonna get that in there. Again, you want to pack it in. Pack it in. And for the Fontina, just gonna slice it in half like that and get it right on the top there. Right on the top, we'll put the whole thing on there because it'll melt nicely anyway. Take another shell, make sure we get it all tucked in nicely. Okay, and that's the cheeseburger version. Okay, so before I get it in, I'm gonna give it a little spray with some garlic oil. So we're just gonna lightly spray, get it in, air fry. Gonna go 400, 15 minutes. Now comes the hard part, figuring out which one you want to taste first. Well, I've got some sauces here. I've got some salsa for the Mexican taco version, and this is my mayonnaise ketchup for the burger version, a tomato marinara for the chicken parm and for the pizza, and a creamy ranch for the bacon chicken ranch. So I've made the open-faced version so I can tell which ones are which. And as a presentation, you can actually see which ones are which, and you can see how crispy they came out. And you want to let them cool a little bit, otherwise they're going to be scalding hot and bubbling on the inside. That was a good crunch. Gotta give these a shot. You can make these ahead of time and partially cook them about halfway instead of 15 minutes. Maybe cook them like 12 and then finish cooking them when your guests arrive. So I want to thank you for watching. Give me some likes, some shares, and some comments down below. Let me know what you think if you've tried these or if you plan on trying them. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.